Welcome to the Polytechnic University of the Philippines. The Polytechnic University of the Philippines is a government higher educational institution governed by Republic Act No. 8292, known as the Higher Education Modernization Act of 1997, and its implementing rules and regulations contained in the Commission on Higher Education Memorandum Circular No. 4, Series of 1997. PUP was established in 1904 as Manila Business School. In 1908, it was renamed as Philippine School of Commerce or PSC and merged with Philippine Normal School from 1936 to 1946. Through the virtue of Republic Act 778, PSC was renamed to Philippine College of Commerce or PCC in 1952. On April 1, 1978, PCC was converted into the Chartered State University, now known as the Polytechnic University of the Philippines, by virtue of Presidential Decree No. 1341, issued by the President of the Republic of the Philippines. For more than 100 years, PUP has been a partner of the government in providing quality, globally competitive, and industry-responsive education to bright, deserving students.
Pinakamura ang matrikula sa PUP.
Pinakamababang tuition sa buong bansa, 12 pesos kada unit.
With the lowest tuition for tertiary education, qualified faculty members, efficient administrative staff, goal-oriented leaders, and industry-responsive curricula that is at par with international standards, PUP has earned a reputation of one of the country's top higher education institutions. As an epistemic community, PUP is consistent with its commitment to produce quality graduates in various fields of specialization, working toward its goal of becoming the first national polytechnic university in the country. With 22 branches and campuses spread across Luzon, serving more than 70,000 students, the Polytechnic University of the Philippines offers more than 80 programs in the graduate and undergraduate levels. It also offers distance learning through the Open University system, technical and professional programs in the area of business and distributive arts, education and the social sciences related to the fields of commerce, business administration, and other polytechnic areas. The commitment of its leadership, faculty, staff, students, alumni, and partners has formed the cornerstone of this university that has exceeded expectations with every generation of the graduates it has produced since its establishment. Today, PUP has gone far from what it was more than a century ago, but what remains is PUP's mission to continue to be the government's partner in nation building and in poverty alleviation of the marginalized sector of society. With quality, responsive, and relevant education as a tool. PUP, the first polytechnic university.
Emerson is a global technology and engineering leader. We operate in over 150 countries. We are 110,000 employees worldwide. And here in the Philippines, we have over 2,000 employees.
My name is Vicky Florento. I'm from Dell Philippines. I'm handling the university relations and services hiring.
Pag-asa Steel supplies concrete reinforcing bars to the Philippines' booming construction industry. We have been the leading supplier of quality steel bars for the past 52 years.
EGS is an Algorica company. It is one of the fastest growing BPO companies in the Philippines right now.
I'm Cecil Venancio and I'm Branding and Communications Director of Sykes Asia.
We don't decide whether you're from a top-tier university or a state university. We decide based on our assessments that includes exams and interviews. Having said that, a lot of Dell's workforce in the Philippines are from PUP.
55 to 80 hires annually, those coming from PUP alone. And as a matter of fact, 14 of the homegrown employees who started from staff and supervisors have been promoted.
Currently, we have 13 employees from the PUP. They're working in a different field, so most of them are an engineer, some are in sales, most of them are in the higher position.
There's a huge pool of students that we can really harvest from. And we know the reputation that they bring. So we're glad that we have a university like PUP that we can rely on for our future employees.
I love the graduates of PUP. They're not only fun to work with, but you can rely on them. They are very, very dependable.
PUP graduates are an exact match and fit to Pagasa Steel's mission and vision.
The reason why we prefer the PUP graduates is the fact that we noticed that they have a common denominator, very hardworking. See, whatever happens, they'd still work. Even if it's raining, they'd still come to work. You give them additional tasks, they'd accept. They are resilient.
Very passionate, aside from being resilient, because we can see that they're very dedicated with their jobs. And we've seen a lot of PUP graduates, not just in one department.
They turn out to adapt very well and adjust well to our company here in the Philippines. They're productive employees and they stay with us for a long time.
Stand out sa PUP graduate is their loyalty sa company. Integrity and ethics, drive for results, intellectual capacity, and adaptability. So when we hire PUPians, they have this kind of competencies.
Of course, they're very intelligent people, responsible. Responsible in a sense because whenever we meet these graduates and we ask them what are their future plans, they would always come up with answers like helping out their family, or because I'm done with school, I'll help out another sibling. So you would know already that these kids, even before they actually embark on certain work, they already have goals in mind. They're not maarte, no? Whatever you give them, they know that if it's for the purpose of the job, they will do it. And so they have, they're the ones that survive the challenges of work. They don't shirk away from responsibilities. They're the type who, whatever the job requires, they're up for the challenge.
PUPians enable people everywhere to grow and thrive.
PUP is one of the pillars of the nation because it is an institution that provides good graduates, people who really contribute to the success of the community or to the success of the country.
To all the people associated with PUP, if you're a graduate, congratulations, and you should be proud of yourselves. For those of you that are students, please continue the tradition, the proud legacy that your school has. Some of you, PUP, you work for us now. We appreciate you. We know you're good employees. For those of you that might work for us in the future, please consider us. We'd love to have you. We know that you make a great employee for Emerson.
PUPians, bring everything you are. If you have big ideas, let's talk. Come work where passion meets possibility. You can visit jobs.del.com for opportunities.
To pursue your dreams and work hard for whatever endeavor you will choose. And in the event that you will choose to apply in one of the fastest BPO companies in the Philippines, I would like to invite you to apply in EGS, an Alorica company, because our doors are open for all of you.
To all the PUPians, let's create a size of smile together.
SMART is very happy to have PUP graduates now enjoying their career and let them live more.
Hashtag Sites to PUP. We will support you in more ways than one.
Tara na, maging magkasama na tayo. Mabuhay ang PUP.
Gayunpaman, malaki na ang naging bahagi ng mga kababaihan sa lipunang Pilipino. Kaisa sila sa marubdob na paghahangad ng kalayaan ng ating lahi. Kabilang sila sa paglinang ng ating makulay na sining at mayamang kultura. Kasapi sila sa pagtataguyod ng mga adhikain ng kapwa mamamayan at sa pagtugon sa mga pangangailangan ng lipunan. Katuwang sila sa pagtuklas sa mga larangan ng agham at medisina. Kapanalig sila sa pagpapairal ng batas, karapatan at katarungan para sa lahat. Kabahagi sila sa paglilingkod sa bayan at sa pagpapanatili ng demokrasyang Pilipino. Sa paglipas ng panahon, hindi nagmaliw ang kanilang pag-ibig sa ating inang bayan. Mga kababayan, ito ang alay ng mga kababaihang Pilipino para sa bayan. Tumayo po tayong lahat at sabay-sabay nating awitin ang pambansang awit ng Pilipinas.
Hi, I'm Engineer Florinda H. Oquindo, Director of the Alumni Relations and Career Development Office. The role of our office is to keep connections among students and alumni, provides complete range of services to students, alumni, and employers in the area of career development, graduates and professional schools preparations, employee relations, and campus recruitment. We also provide alumni and students with the tools and resources to help find success in all professional endeavors. To all freshmen, please come and visit us. Our office is located at N209 North Wing, 2nd floor.
Isang magandang umaga sa ating mga kaisko at kaiska na nandito ngayon. So, syempre, di ba, maaari kong pasalamatan ng ating Una, ang ating speaker na nandito ngayon. Maraming salamat, Attorney Santiago, sa pagpapaunlak mo sa aming imbitasyon na mag-guest uli or maging speaker uli para bigyan ng kaalaman ng ating mga kaisko at kaiska sa ating webinar ngayong araw na to. So, para naman sa ating mga estudyante na nasa Zoom at syempre nasa ating TUP Career Center Facebook Live po ay isang magandang umaga sa inyong lahat. Nawa ay safe kayo, 'di ba? Kahapon meron tayong konting earthquake. So, I hope all of you are safe and at least 'di ba, ingat-ingat lang din, 'di ba? So, lahat ng nandito sir kasi ngayon is from the College of Business. Meron po tayong mga estudyante mula sa HRDM, Human Resource Management. Meron din po tayong mga estudyante sa Marketing at Entrepreneurial Management. So, entrepreneur pala siya. Sorry naman. So, our subject, ito yung subject na lagi at pinakakahintay-hintay ng lahat ng tao, data privacy. So, data privacy in the workplace is crucial, not just protecting individuals or employee, but also customer or client. Diba? So, this is more on protecting sensitive information and ensuring that regulatory compliance and building trust of the employee and the consumer or the client is observed. So, maintaining the confidentiality and preventing data breaches and educating the employee to be responsible on data handling is our topic for today's webinar. So, ipapakilala ko po ngayon ang ating speaker sa katauhan ni Attorney Boom. So, having worked in a variety of legal and public service capacities over the course in his long career, Attorney Ronald Santiago is a renowned or a distinguished attorney and a legal educator. He is currently working as election officer at COMELEC NCR, assigned in the Pasig City. So, actually, COMELEC DAP scholar din po siya. He teaches several schools such as Philippine Law School, which is naging reviewer siya ng election law sa Juris Bar Review Center. He also served as election law lecturer in the MCLE or the Mandatory Continuing Legal Education and a chairman of the Advisory Council of the PNP SDP Forensic Science Department and bar coach of the Juris Bar Review Center. So, syempre, may mga advising function din po siya. He served as advisor of the Fraternal Order of Eagle of BGC Pateros in addition sa pagpapractice niya ng law. So, ito yung mga leadership position niya na hinuhold habang minimaintain niya ang pagiging isang civil servant at isang educator. So, in addition, he also served as clerk of court of RTC Pasig and a former regional director of the Philippine Association of Court Employee and the national officer of the RTC Clerk of Court Association of the Philippines. So, hindi lang po siya nagtuturo sa Philippine Law School, nagtuturo din po si Attorney Santiago sa University of Makati. At the same time, isa rin siyang host ng isang radio show na pinamagatan ba yun? Or segment na Basta Batas kasama si Attorney Boon. Ito po yung isang segment kung saan pinag-uusapan ang batas at mga rights ng mga regular na tao na kagaya ni Juan de la Cruz sa isang approachable and straightforward. So let me welcome our speaker who is a graduate of the College of Political Science and Public Administration, and he also holds the Juris Doctor degree from the Polytechnic University of the Philippines and currently working and pursuing his Masters of Law at San Sebastian de Manila. So he is the 2024 Most Empowered Man of the Year by Nation Builder and Muslim Award, and a happily married with daughter, Attorney Ronald Santiago. Good morning, sir. Good afternoon, Ronald.
Good morning, Ma'am Jane. Grabe, no? Nice to see you again, though virtually.
Yes, nice to see you again. So, isang
Yes.
masigabong palakpakan naman, guys. Ayan. So, sir,
Oh,
meron po
uh,
tayong nakaantabay sa atin sa PUP Career Center Facebook page. So, naka-live po tayo ngayon. At syempre, meron po tayong mga estudyante rin na nasa Zoom naman. So, dalawa po ang ating platform na ginagamit. Okay, sir. So,
I see.
ibibigay
All
ko na
right.
po
Well,
ang floor para sa inyo at para masimulan nyo ng pag-i-educate sa ating mga kais-ko at kais-ka.
yes. All right. Magandang umaga po ulit. And I think one of the things that I want to highlight as one of my achievements, I am a PUP alumnus. Okay? So, sooner or later, magiging mga alumni kayo. And I hope, like me, maging proud kayo na nanggaling sa PUP. Let me just share my slide. Paano ba mag-share dito? Okay. Ganun. Nakikita niyo ba yung slides ko? Okay na ba, Jane?
Sir, ayan. Kita na, sir.
All right. So there you go. So, well, una po gusto ko pong sabihin na whenever PUP would invite me, it's all an honor to go back to where I came from. And I hope after our presentation, after our discussion, kahit na isa na good takeaways about our Data Privacy Act would be an accomplishment. So let's start. So my task this morning is to discuss to you the Data Privacy Act of 2012 as amended, which is called the Republic Act number 10173. Just a background lang, no? Isang Pilipinas sa huli na nagkaroon ng data privacy law, di ba? Although ina-highlight yan sa ating Constitution, yung right of privacy, nevertheless, hindi pa rin siya na-establish into a Republic Act to determine the specifics. Ano ba yung mga dapat na pinoprotektahan patungkol sa ating data privacy. Kaya nga po, prior to the 2012, ang dami mga data breaches, di ba? Ang masakit nito, when we talk about data breaches, di ba? Information breaches, imagine, ang ganda ng mga reputation na na-establish mo, na-build mo personal or professional, dahil lang sa na-compromise ang iyong mga data or information, biglang maglalaho yun. So that's one of the things that we want to protect. Kaya meron tayong tinatawag na Data Privacy Act. So just to be organized, no? I'll divide our discussion into 6 parts. So we would discuss yung mga important data natin, all right? Who are covered under the Data Privacy Act, ano yung mga key terms or mga words na kailangan nating matandaan under the Data Privacy Act, yung core principle ng Data Privacy Act, the data subject rights, and syempre yung mga helpful tips. As much as possible, I want to be informal, okay? I'm not gonna be too legal sa inyo para at least mas ma-absorb natin what this Data Privacy Act for. Okay, so let's start. These are the data na napaka-importante sa bawat isa na dapat nating pinaprotektahan. Number 1, ang ating IP address. Bawat computer na ginagamit natin, whether it's a gadget, laptop, mobile phones, yan ay may corresponding na Internet Protocol address. So your IP address is your identity. Whatever you do in your computer or your gadgets would define you. Sabi nga nila, yung cellphone natin or even yung laptop natin na madalas natin gamitin ang mas nakakilala sa atin. So lahat ng mga binabrowse natin, lahat ng mga ina-access natin, alright, would define ano ba yung mga interest, ano yung mga bagay na pinupurso natin. Alright? So everything will be covered by your IP address. Kaya very important na protektahan to because most of the time, ito yung hinahack, yung ating IP address. Siyempre, importante rin yung ating mobile phone number. Now we have the registration ng ating mga SIM card. Before, I'm sure na-encounter natin na maraming mga messages tayo natatanggap, di ba? Yung mga casino, di ba? I don't know kung nakakatanggap na parang in-encourage tayo mag-casino. Ano ba? Yung mga biglang magme-message sa'yo na hindi mo naman kakilala, yung mga magpapasa sa'yo ng mga chain messages. So, these are the things that we need to protect. Yung ating mobile phone number should not be cascaded or shared sa mga tao na hindi natin kilala. Pag pumunta tayo sa mga malls, may kumukuha ng ating mga mobile phone number. So, hindi natin alam kung saan ba siya binibigay. Magugulat ka, tatawagan ka, offer ka ng credit card. So, dapat bago ibigay or i-share yung ating mga data o yung ating mga mobile phone number or any information that we have, kailangan may consent tayo. Otherwise, that is considered already as a data breach. Siyempre, mahalaga rin sa atin yung ating mga IDs, di ba? Especially yung mga government-issued IDs like sa mga nagwo-work, yung GSIS, SSS, yung pag-ibig, yung PhilHealth. So all this information na pwedeng magamit against you. Imagine, marami na tayong mga cases na kung saan nagulat na lang yung isang tao na hindi naman naglo-loan sa GSIS pero before he retires, nagulat siya na mayroon siyang utang sa GSIS. So nakakalungkot na sa kabila ng kanyang mahabang serbisyo sa gobyerno, malinis at wala siyang alam na pinagkakautangan because he wants to enjoy the fruit of his labor upon retirement. And magugulat na lang siya habang nagki-clearance siya, meron pala siyang utang kasi ang kanyang GSIS information was breached and compromised and somebody took a loan from his GSIS profile. So nakakalungkot. Kaya dapat ang may access lang sa ating mga government-issued IDs like GSIS, Pag-ibig, PhilHealth, or SSS, dapat ay tayo lamang. And syempre, importante rin yung ating passport. So, kaya nga yung mga kababayan natin sa ibang bansa, working as an OFW, one of the things that they need to protect ang kanilang passport because once na nawala siya, alright, maaari siyang matag as TNT whatsoever kasi wala siyang ma-provide ng mga documentation. Same here, kahit nandito ko sa Pilipinas, hindi dapat share yung information at sa passport. Because pag na-compromise yan, baka matag ka. Ang masakit nito, maaari siyang magamit ng mga bad elements at ma-indict ka sa mga illegal activities. So dapat, we should protect our own Philippine passport. Siyempre, kung meron na tayong mga credit cards or debit card, yung mga ATM, dapat tayo lang may access yan. Hindi dapat natin sinishare yung mga numbers, especially nasa likod, yung parang passcode na 3 letters. Because marami na rin pong instances na kung saan ginagamit po yung credit card information para mag-order online. I remember I had a client, nagulat siya, tinawagan siya na kanyang bangko kasi may nag-attempt na gumamit ng kanyang credit card at bumili ng worth na 300,000 pesos. So imagine kung yun ay nag-push through, di ba? Babayaran mo siya, sobrang sakit magbayad na isang bagay na hindi mo naman pinakinabangan. That's the reason why we have to really protect our personal information in our credit card or debit card. Siyempre, bank information. Marami na tayong balita, di ba, na narinig na kung saan nagkaroon ng mga compromises or breaches sa ating mga bank accounts na kung saan may unlawful transaction, nakapag-transfer from your account to another account na hindi mo kilala. So magugulat ka, paano nilang nalaman ng aking information? So marami mga reasons bakit nagkakaroon ng access yung ibang tao sa inyong personal information, especially yung inyong bank accounts. So kapag masyado kayong active online sa mga online shopping portals, at sinishare nyo ang inyong mga bank information, credit card information, possible na may maka-access nito kapag hindi nyo finalo yung mga data privacy guidelines. So very important na protected tong mga bagay na to. Alright, so those are some of the data na very important sa atin, na very important na i-protect, very important na hindi ma-compromise. Otherwise, that may result sa maraming mga problema. First, baka ma-charge ka pa, okay? Masama ka sa mga cases na wala ka namang involvement but because of the data breaches and compromises, and natag ka at na-involve ka sa mga illegal activities. Kaya very important ang ating Data Privacy Act. Now, under our Data Privacy Act, sino ba yung mga covered? Take note, ang Data Privacy Act covers all the processing ng ating mga information, whether it's personal information or even yung mga tinatawag na sensitive personal information and even yung mga privileged information na later i-discuss ko. And hindi lang siya applicable sa mga human being, okay, sa mga natural person. Applicable din siya sa mga juridical persons, sa mga companies, sa mga organizations na nagpa-process ng ating information. I'm sure one way or another, may mga nag-approach na sa inyo, offering you credit card, offering you to avail the credits, di ba? Na that will require your personal information. So it's very important na alam natin why they are getting our information and saan siya gagamitin. Para alam natin pag na-compromise yun ng individual or even ng company or organization, okay? They might be liable under the Data Privacy Act. Hindi lang siya yung mga information na pinaprocess in the Philippines. Pwede rin siyang makover ng mga information na napaprocess outside the Philippines, provided na yung equipment na ginamit ay makikita sa Pilipinas. O kaya yung company or organization ay may branch or agency sa Pilipinas. Di ba, masyadong popular yung ating mga shopping portals, Shopee, Lazada, na kung saan naiengganyo tayo mag-avail ng mga discounts and credits kapag nag-share tayo ng ating personal information. Alright, so it's very important na alam natin yung extent ng paggagamitan ng ating information, na we provided our information for the purpose of availing the credit, and that's it. It should not be for all purpose. Kasi isa sa mga iniiwasan natin under the Data Privacy Act is ma-share yung ating information at magugulat ka na lang na may pinagkakautangan ka na pala, hindi ka naman nag-avail. And that is because of those data breaches and compromises. Ang exemption lamang nito, yung mga tinatawag na protection afforded sa ating mga journalists, di ba? So, ang ating mga journalists po ay may sort of protection sa kanilang mga information na sinishare by reason of their profession. So, hindi natin na pwedeng i-compel siya na i-reveal yung source ng kanyang news, ng kanyang mga expose, so long that it is for legal purposes. Alright? So, in summary, lahat ng pagpaprocess, lahat ng pagtitake ng ating information ay covered ng ating batas na tinatawag na Data Privacy Act. Alright. So now, nabanggit ko kanina yung tinatawag na personal information. So that's one of the most important term na makikita sa ating Data Privacy Act. So ano po ba yung tinatawag na personal information? It refers to any information, whether recorded in a material form, from which the identity of an individual is apparent or can be reasonably and directly ascertained by the entity holding the information. O kaya, when put together with other information, would directly and certainly identify you as an individual. So, in other words, itong personal information would directly involve you. Now, whenever we see this information, ito yung magiging sort of identification mo. It's all about you. Kapag pinagsama-sama lahat ng mga information na nag-gather sa'yo, birthday, age, birthplace, so it would all directly involve you. So yan ang tinatawag na personal information. And that is one of the coverage of the Data Privacy Act. Na whatever personal information na sinishare natin, dapat pinoprotektahan at hindi sinishare unless we give our consent. Another key term is yung tinatawag na sensitive personal information. So this is deeper than the definition of the personal information because it also includes saan ka ba galing na probinsya or kung ikaw ay galing sa isang IP community, ano ba yung iyong race, ethnic, origin, kasama din dito yung marital status, yung age, yung color, o kaya yung religious, philosophical or political affiliations. Those are the things that identify you and should not be shared unless merong consent. Because pag pinagsama-sama itong mga bagay na to, that would identify you as an individual. It also includes yung mga information about your health. Di ba? Hindi pwedeng sinishare yung iyong health condition. Meron nga tayong mga batas, di ba? Like for example, yung tungkol sa mga may HIV, di ba? So hindi pwedeng sinishare siya nang walang consent ng patient, di ba? So those are the things na kino-cover din ng ating Data Privacy Act na yung health status mo, okay? It should be just you or kapag kinonsent mo, it should be shared sa iyong mga loved ones, di ba? Kaya nga, di ba, pag may napapanood tayong mga pelikula or show sa ating TV, kapag medyo malala yung sakit, di ba? Ang kinakausap talaga ay yung pasyente unless magko-consent si pasyente na i-share siya sa kanyang mga loved ones. Alright? Another thing, yung education, o kaya yung genetic or sexual life, di ba? So those are sensitive personal information na hindi pwedeng i-share unless you give your consent. O kaya, you have history na nakasuhan, whether it's for conviction or acquittal. So those are sensitive personal information na pwede mo lang i-share, okay, kapag nag-consent ka. Hindi siya pwedeng i-share, like for example, someone who is working sa court, and then nalaman niya na ikaw ay may kaso at ikaw ay nakulong for quite some times, hindi pwede na i-share siya sa iba. Ay, alam mo ba si Juan de la Cruz na yan, may kaso sa amin, nakulong yan kasi alam mo ganito, ganyan. So those are the things that should be treated with confidentiality, and those are the data na pinoprotect ng batas na Data Privacy Act. Unless you give your consent, those cannot be shared. All right? So another example po ng mga sensitive personal information, yung anything that is peculiar that would directly identify you. Like for example, yung social security number mo, yung previous or current health records, o kaya yung mga licenses, mga driver's license. Kaya di ba, dinidiscourage na i-post mo yung driver's license number mo kasi baka what do you call that? Parang gayahin siya. I-simulate siya and gamitin siya sa mga illegal activities. Kaya very important na tayo lang ang nakakaalam ng mga information like that. Alright, driver's license, passport number, and so many things that identify us. Alright? Also, may tinatawag tayo mga privileged information. Ano ba yung mga privileged information? Ito yung mga information or mga data received within the context of a protected relationship. Like for example, as a husband and wife. So may mga bagay na share ang husband and wife that they cannot share kahit na magkaroon sila ng legal battle. Alright? Unless magbigay sila ng consent. Also, kapag may tinatawag na attorney-client relationship o kaya doctor and patient relationship, hindi pwedeng i-share ng lawyer ang mga bagay na na-share sa kanya ng kanyang client because that is covered by the privileged information. May corresponding sanction po. Once the lawyer, okay, would violate this so-called attorney-client relationship. And that is the same scenario sa ating mga doctor and patient na hindi porket nalaman mo ang sakit ng iyong pasyente, i-share mo lang ng basta-basta. You only do that with the consent of your patient. And also, one of the privileged information, yung priest and penitent. Kaya siguro, walang mga pari na marites, no? Kasi pinagbabawal na i-share yung mga bagay na kino-confide sa kanila. Kasi as a priest, di ba? Sa mga Catholic, so may part dyan na mga confessions, sinishare ng isang penitent o na isang individual yung mga bagay na ginawa niya in violation of the faith as what is provided for under the Ten Commandments and any other provisions of the Bible. So hindi pwedeng i-share yan ni priest because that is covered by the privileged information. Once the priest would divulge that without the consent of that person, then that priest should be held liable under the law and especially under the Data Privacy Act. Okay. So ano po ba yung pinaka-guiding principle ng ating tinatawag na Data Privacy Act? So tatlo po. So the number one, yung transparency. Pangalawa po, yung tinatawag po na legitimate purpose. And pangatlo po, yung proportionality. When we talk about transparency, kailangan yung mga information o yung mga data subjects, alam natin kung paano kino-collect at pinoprocess yung ating information. Hindi pwede na general or hindi defined yung pagpaprocess at saka pagko-collect. Dapat once you consented, once you disclose ang iyong personal or sensitive personal information, dapat inform ka kung paano siya gagamitin and for what legitimate purpose, di ba? Otherwise, pwede kang mag-file ng complaint for data breach. And when we talk about legitimate purpose, dapat declared siya. Alam mo from the start bakit kino-collect ang iyong mga information. So usually, sa employment, kapag mag-apply ka sa isang company, kinukuha yung mga information mo, inaas yung consent mo. Kasi gagamitin yan ng company for investigation. I-check nila kung tama yung mga information na binigay mo, kung meron kang mga previous work experiences na you were sanctioned or you were involved in criminal activity. So those are the things na kailangan na ma-inform ka para meron kang option to give your consent sa mga company or individual na nagko-collect at gumagamit ng iyong information or data. And finally, yung proportionality. Dapat yung data mo ay gagamitin lang sa purpose na sinabi sa'yo, sa mga declared purpose. Hindi siya pwedeng gamitin for something else. Na matapos yung, for example, nagbigay ka ng information dahil nag-apply ka sa isang company, gagamitin yon for other purpose sa marketing. So, pinagbabawal yan. Dapat, kung ano lang po yung declared purpose, yun lang po ang paggagamitan ng ating mga information. So, those are the three important aspects of our Data Privacy Act: transparency, legitimate purpose, and proportionality. Now, let's go to our rights as a data subject. Once nagbigay ka ng information, ang tawag sa iyo ay data subject. Kaya dapat you should know your Data Privacy Act. Under our Data Privacy Act, kailangan yung ating mga personal information or even the sensitive personal information, once collected, once stored, and once processed, dapat ang company or even the individuals na nag-collect ng iyong data, dapat they should observe and respect your privacy rights. And one of the things that they should do, they should not share it sa ibang entities unless you give your consent. Number two, your right to be informed. So, under the Data Privacy Act, so your information must be treated as confidential. It should not be shared because your information is, by analogy, is like your personal property. Ba? Ikaw ang nagmamay-ari niyan and ikaw magde-decide whether i-share mo siya o hindi sa iba pang mga entities. So, as a company na nagko-collect or nag-use ng iyong mga information, kailangan before they do something, before they share it to other entity, even for legitimate purpose, dapat makuha nila ang iyong consent. Kaya kung mapapansin niyo po, whenever you do application, whenever you do some transaction, face-to-face or online, may isa ka check doon na you agree sa mga terms and conditions, and one of them ay yung you are consenting that it should be used for a specific purpose. Again, very important na ma-highlight ko yung specific purpose. Kasi may mga companies, may mga entities na ang ginagawa nila is for general purpose. Mali po yan. That's the reason why we have Data Privacy Act. Kasi as a data subject, di ba? As someone who owns the data or information, dapat alam mo ang extent ng paggamit ng iyong information or ng iyong data. Another right is your right to access. So, hindi pwedeng binigay mo na yung information mo, i-restrict ka ng entity or company or even individual na nag-collect na yung data. Mali po yan. Because under the Privacy Act, you must have reasonable access. So, maaari ka mag-ask ng mga written description dun sa kind of information at sa purpose at sa mga pinaggamitan ng iyong data or information. Hindi ka pwedeng i-restrict or i-prohibit because in the first place, that is your own data. That is your own personal and sensitive personal information that should be respected and protected by the entity that collected or used your data. Another right, the right to object. Kapag ginamit ang iyong information beyond dun sa so you have the right to object. Unless na lang kapag may mga sabina or may mga other purpose, like for example, kontrata, employer-employee relationship, o kaya you were compelled by court because may isang pending or existing case. So those are the exemptions. But generally speaking, you as the owner of the data or information, you have the right to object kapag beyond the purpose na sinabi sa'yo ang paggamit, pag-collect ng iyong data or information. Alright? Just in case na magkaroon ng breach, okay? Sa paggamit na iyong information, maaari ka mag-claim ng right to damages. Maraming instances tayo rito no, sa online, no, yung mga online lending na kung saan maraming mga breaches po ng data ang nangyayari. Imagine, nangutang ka lang ng 10,000 pero yung parang pati kaluluwa mo, narinig mo yung balita about sa isang online lending, one of the requirements ay makapag-access sila sa phone book mo. Lahat ng mga contacts sa cellphone mo ay magkakaroon sila ng access. And syempre, since gipit na gipit ka, mag-gipit ka, and later on, pumalya ka sa pagbayad at hindi ka nila makontak, so magugulat yung nanay mo, yung tatay mo, yung kaibigan mo, yung ex mo na hindi mo na kinakausap, just so happen nakasave pa rin yung number niya sa phone book mo, i-message at tatawagan sila na sabihin mo kay Juan de la Cruz, makapal na mukha niya, magbayad siya ng utang niya. So something like that. Marami yung mga kaso po na mga breaches of data privacy na dahil sa situation, hindi nakapagbigay ng proper consent yung tao para lang ma-release ang kanyang loan. Pero again, as the owner of the data information, we have all the right to claim for damages just in case na may breach or compromises. Alright? So may-ari po tayo mag-file ng complaint sa ating National Privacy Commission if we feel like our data or information has been misused or maliciously disclosed or improperly disclosed. Because one of the things na kailangan din nating emphasize dito, after matapos ng purpose ng pagbibigay mo ng iyong information or data, kailangan i-dispose properly. Dapat yung pag-dispose niyan would not amount to compromises or breaches at hindi pa pwede na i-share siya sa ibang entity kahit na same purpose. Because again, whenever you share your data or information, may kaakibat siyang consent. Alright? So yan yung pinaka-important ng Data Privacy Act. Unless you consent, your data or information must not be shared. Another right is yung tinatawag na right to rectify. So pag may mga mistakes, okay? For example, sa information mo ay dineclare ka na single pero married ka pala o kaya nakalagay sa iyong data ay you are a male. Pero ang totoo, you are a female naman. So those are the things that you can ask for correction to be rectified. And just in case na yung mistake would involve your reputation, okay? Would involve something that tarnish your good name. So, yung pagre-rectify ng iyong information, kailangan i-furnish din yung mga third parties na na-share ng information. Because by rectifying those information, in a way, that is also rectifying the bad reputation was made because of some mistakes. Okay? So yan ay isa sa mga correct yung mga mistakes sa pag-gather, pag-collect at pag-use ng ating data or information. And finally, yung natawag na right to data portability, hindi porket share natin yung ating information or data, sila na ang masusunod. Hindi po. Again, one of the important elements po ng data privacy ay yung tinatawag na consent. So you remain in full control of your data. Okay? So maaari ka mag-ask ng electronic copy how these individual or entities have used your data or information. Okay? It is within your rights to ask for it because, again, that data or information belong to you. Okay? Kahit na nag-consent ka, you still have the right to have full control of your data. Okay? How it was collected and how it should be used. Ang ating mga data kasi at saka mga information, since it's like a property, just in case na may mga incidents like kailangan siya i-transfer sa iyong mga heirs. So, pwede just na ng data. So, yung mga ipon niya, okay, would have the right to maintain or even ask that those data or information given by their deceased relatives would be removed being used. So, because ang data subject rights is transmissible, all right, in case of that. Ang limitation lamang po ng ating rights sa ating data, one of them, yung diniscuss na yung you cannot compel yung ating mga journalists to reveal their sources, di ba? So that is for a legitimate purpose. And also, if your data will be used for scientific and research. So those are some of the limitation ng iyong rights as the owner of data or information. Ang condition lang, dapat ang iyong data or information, whether it will be used for journalistic, scientific, statistical, or academic purpose, kailangan it must be held under strict confidentiality and should only be used for declared purpose. Otherwise, pwede ka mag-ask to rectify, mag-ask ng damages kapag nagkaroon ng tinatawag na data breaches and compromises. Alright. So now, I mentioned about the National Privacy Commission. It's where you can file complaint whenever there are breaches or compromises sa iyong data. Ang ating National Privacy Commission serves privacy watchdog. Sila yung nag-check kung may mga violations ba ng ating privacy rights. So it's an independent body mandated to administer and implement yung ating Data Privacy Act of 2012 para ma-monitor at ma-ensure yung compliance, okay? Hindi lang sa Pilipinas, but based on the international standards set for data protection. As mentioned a while ago, no? Isa tayo sa mga huli bansa na nagkaroon ng data privacy law. All right? And although late, I'm happy that ang ating National Privacy Commission is very proactive na whenever there are breaches and compromises, meron silang mga guidelines at meron silang mga programs para ma-encourage at maging aware tayo na very important to protect our data and information. So some of the functions, syempre, ng ating data privacy, National Privacy Commission, rather, to ensure the compliance ng mga personal information. So, National Privacy Commission would know kung sino yung mga tinatawag na PIC, Personal Information Controllers. And they are mandating these personal information controllers to protect and observe, respect dun sa mga data or subject na kanyang ginather, kinolect, or ginagamit. Otherwise, the National Privacy Commission could step in to ensure na maprotektahan ang ating mga data or information. Sila yung mga nagre-receive ng mga complaints, pwede sila mag-conduct ng mga investigation, sila rin yung pwedeng mag-preside for the possible dispute resolution. So all these things, trabaho ng ating National Privacy Commission. Meron din sila tinatawag na cease and desist order, just in case na yung entity or individual ay ginagamit for illegal activity. So maaari niyang pigilan yung entity na yon na i-collect at gamitin yung mga data or information para maiwasan yung further breaches and compromises. May mga programs din ang ating National Privacy Commission cascaded to all the government agencies na nag-gather ng mga information. Kasi most of the time, lahat ng mga government agencies, before you can avail of their services, before you can go to their offices, you have to provide for your personal information para ma-assist kanila or mabigay sa yung benefits or services ng concerned government agency. So, si National Privacy Commission, meron siyang mandato, may guideline siya on how this data or information must be collected. Kaya kung mapapansin nyo, whenever you go sa any government agency, national or local government, lagi pong inaasang consent ninyo para alam nyo na this information would be used for this specific purpose only. Just in case na nag-go beyond siya sa purpose na sinabi sa inyo, then that's the time that you can ask for rectification or even complaint for violating your data privacy rights. Okay? So, meron din silang monitoring platform and mechanism and coordination sa iba't ibang mga government agency para ma-ensure na lahat ng ating data ay protected under the law. May mga guidance din pinoprovide si National Privacy Commission para mas strengthen yung ating awareness, yung ating protection sa ating mga data or ating mga information. And as a government agency, just in case na may makamap siya na ideas or anything that would enhance and strengthen our data privacy rights, maaari siyang mag-recommend sa ating Department of Justice, okay? Ng any, actually, even piece of legislation or even investigation, prosecution with the imposition of penalties. Because, mind you, sa ating Data Privacy Act, may corresponding siyang imprisonment and fine. And yan ay magsisimula ng 1 year of imprisonment hanggang 7 years. So medyo matagal din siya. And ang fine niya is umaabot hanggang 5 million pesos. Depende sa breach na nangyari sa inyong data or information. So those are the functions and responsibilities ng ating National Privacy Commission. And ang ating National Privacy Commission ay composed ng isang chairman, okay? At ang National Privacy Commission ay attached sa ating Department of Information and Communication Technology. And ang ating chairman ay assisted ng kanyang 2 deputy privacy commissioners. One of them would be responsible for data processing system and the other one responsible for policies and planning para holistic yung kanilang approach. May compliance and at the same time may monitoring. All right? Now, let's go to some helpful tips. Siyempre, hindi lang enough na alam natin yung batas. Dapat alam din natin yung mga practicals, di ba? On how to really protect our data or information. So, number 1, siyempre, masyadong gamit na gamit yung mga platforms sa social media. Dati, email lang ang may password. Pero now, with so many social media platforms, so we encourage talaga na whenever you have account, di ba, you need to create a strong password. Hindi pwede maglagay ka ng 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay? Otherwise, maaring ma-access or ma-hack ang iyong account. Di ba? Especially, kapag madami kami na-maintain na account, di ba? Hindi ko mag-gets. But ang isang tao ay may more than 1 account. Pero syempre, trip mo yan, walang basagan ng trip. Pero just the same, please create a strong password in all your accounts para walang ibang makaka-access niyan kundi ikaw lang. Di ba? Another thing, never use the same password on multiple accounts. Di ba? Sa sobrang katamaran mo, lahat ng account mo, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 lang. So ibig sabihin, anyone can access not just your one account, but your all accounts. Okay? And we really encourage na alam mo how to track yung iyong accounts and make sure na iba-iba ang kanyang password. Para just in case na may compromise sa isang account, at least hindi ma-compromise yung iyong mga multiple accounts. Diba? May Facebook ka na, may Instagram ka pa. So iba may Tinder account, diba? Ano ba yung mga account na yan? Mga LinkedIn, Instagram, I don't know yung pangalan ng Twitter ngayon, diba? May Twitter before, iba na yung pangalan niya. Yung mga dating apps, diba? Yung mga parang Bumblebee yata yun. Kasi I remember one of my friends, a lawyer, was able to get a love life out of that dating app. So make sure if you're holding so many accounts, make sure na you don't use same password. Okay? Another thing, lock your device. Pag nasa labas ka, nasa coffee shop ka, you're gonna get something or you're gonna go to the CR. So make sure na nakalock yung device mo. Otherwise, somebody might access it. Di ba? Don't be so complacent. Kasi hindi mo alam, may mga nagkaka-interest pala na i-access yung account mo. Worse, baka magamit siya sa illegal purpose. Just in case na ikaw ay gumagamit ng ibang mga gadgets or laptops, di ba? Make sure na mag-log out ka ng browser. Kasi pag hindi mo siya ni-log out, yung may-ari ng laptop na yon, especially pag public yung gadget na yon, ma-access ang iyong mga social media accounts. And worst, di ba? Magamit ang iyong account for illegal purpose or illegal activities. I remember, madami na rin ang instances na kung saan ginagamit ang pag-hack para manghingi ng pera. Di ba? Gagayahin yung manner of your conversation sa iyong messenger para mag-appear na ikaw talaga yung nanghihingi ng pera. Di ba? So medyo matalino na rin ang mga magnanakaw sa digital world. Di ba? Aaralin muna nila kung paano yung hi mo. Di ba? May mga taong hi, H tapos number 1, di ba? Hello, HELL tas 0. So lahat yun inaaral ng mga tao na gusto na gamitan ng iyong account for illegal purpose. So make sure you log out your browser. Mas maganda rin remove mo yung history, di ba, ng browser para walang maka-access ng iyong account, especially if it's if it's a public gadget or hindi mo pag-aari yung laptops or gadgets na yun. Make sure then na yung binabrowse mo ay mayroong HTTPS. Di ba? Minsan, hindi natin napapansin yan. Magugulat ka na lang, nahack na pala yung Facebook mo kasi napaka-careless mo. Hindi mo napansin na it's a proxy account. Na kung saan binibigyan mo ng access yung mga hackers to access your account. So just make sure that the browsers that you are using ay merong HTTPS, di ba? And just in case na yun ay bank, make sure na talagang legitimate website siya ng bank. Kasi marami na rin gumagamit ng kalokohan na mukha siyang bank, for example, BPA or BDO, pero ang totoo, it's just a proxy account. That would lead you para mag-provide you ng mga information and that would result sa compromises ng iyong mga information ng social media and bank information. So as much as possible, pero alam ko hindi natin maiwasan kasi I myself, I do this. Pag nasa SM ako, pag medyo nagtitipid ako sa data, kasi hindi naman ako only data, alright? Yung aking plan ay limited. Baga every month, I have like 20 GB. So just in case na nasa restaurant ako, nasa hotel ako, or nasa mall ako, sometimes nag-access ako through the public Wi-Fi. Pero as much as possible, do not log in yung ating mga personal accounts sa mga free or public Wi-Fi, especially yung mga bank. Okay? Para maiwasan na maka-access yung iba sa inyong mga bank accounts. Ini-encourage din na mag-install tayo ng mga antivirus. Di ba? May mga free antivirus naman, yung Avast, di ba? Para just in case na may mga attempts, di ba? Yung antivirus niyan would prevent the hackers. Although, syempre, pag free antivirus, medyo konti lang ang protection. Kung can afford naman tayo, as much as possible, let's invest on the antivirus. Kasi, especially kung yung laptop o yung cellphone ay ginagamit nyo or may contents ng inyong mga personal bank information. So as much as possible, dapat may antivirus siya. Kasi ako, I myself, I have been investing sa mga antivirus kasi nakakatulong siya para i-fish yung mga mga unwanted na mga na mga sites na gusto mag-access sa aking account. Siyempre, diba? Don't click on pop-ups or virus warnings, diba? Your systems may be infected, pero totoo, it's a virus. It's a hack. Kapag in-access mo siya, binibigyan mo ng consent yung tao na yan para ma-access yung account mo. Diba? Whenever we do browse or check yung mga sites, diba? May mga nagpa-pop up talaga. So, pwede natin ilagay sa settings na no pop-ups para hindi tayo magkamali or ma-tempt na ma-open yung mga ganitong mga pop-ups sa ating cellphone or laptops. Siyempre, napakaalaga na mag-set up tayo ng privacy settings, di ba? Kahit na digital content creator kayo, di ba? Maraming mga vloggers ngayon na masyadong too public. So as much as possible, if you are maintaining a Facebook account, ang Facebook account naman is meant para to reconnect sa ating family and friends, di ba? Hindi yan para lahat na lang, friends mo, pero hindi mo naman kakilala, di ba? Tapos pag hindi nagla-like or nag-heart sa mga post mo, ina-unfriend mo. So make sure na makapag-set tayo ng privacy settings sa ating mga social media account para hindi tayo madaling pasukin ng mga hackers. Alright? What else? Di ba? Kung hindi mo naman taga-friend, unfriend mo siya. Di ba? Kasi hindi mo alam, baka isa sa mga nag-a-attempt na mag-access ng inyong account at mag-compromise sa inyong mga data or information. Di ba? Kaya nga, friend request, dapat at least kakilala mo man lang or may common friends kayo. Di ba? Hindi pwedeng kung sino-sino na lang. At ang makakatawa, nakita mo, ang kanyang profile picture, artista. Hindi naman siya artista. So, di ba? So, marami na tayong mga instances na ganyan. Di ba? Yung mga catfishing, di ba? Ghosting. So, lahat yan pwede magsimula sa mga social media accounts natin. Kaya please don't be too public, alright? Because once masyado kang visible, masyado kang too public, mas malaki ang chance na ikaw ang maging next target ng mga hackers. And syempre, isa pa, avoid use mga work email address for personal matters. Okay? We need to separate yung mga personal at professional emails natin. Kasi I don't know about you, pero your email address matters kapag kayo ay naging mga professional na. Kasi I remember when I was in college, ang aking account ay napaka childish, di ba? Kasi fan ako ni Superman, kaya ang aking email address, ronald.clarkkent, di ba? Pero ngayon, hindi ko siya pwede magamit. Kasi that's too childish and it sounds unprofessional. So, make sure, siguro as you venture to become professional, so make sure na yung email address din ay professional. Kasi if you are looking for a job, isa sa mga tinitingnan, yung pagiging, yung attitude at saka professionalism. And that can be resonated sa ginagamit nating email address. Another thing, I think I already mentioned it, delete your browsing data. Okay? So, para maiwasan na malaman or matrace, ano ba yung mga lagi mong binubuksan, di ba? Na mga browsers. Buti naman kung binubuksan mga browsers ay mga good sites, di ba? Mga religious sites, mga information generating sites. Paano pag mga something else, di ba? Si ano pala, mahilig pala mag-open ng mga Viva Max. So, yung mga ganong bagay. So, it may be a red flag just in case na makita yan ng tao na nagko-collect na yung mga data or information. So, make sure you delete your browsing data, especially if you are using a gadget or laptop ng iba. Another thing, store your personal and financial documents securely. Ako, to be honest, I invest on a gadget na hindi siya prone na ma-access na iba. Hindi siya pinopromote ko yung Apple o yung iPhone. Mas secured kasi ang iyong mga personal at financial information kapag ang gamit mo ay iPhone as compared sa ibang mga brand na kung saan madali siyang ma-access or ma-compromise unless maging careful ka on how you use your gadgets or your cellphone. As much as possible, you store your personal and financial documents securely kasi ang pinakamahirap na pwede mangyari, you are saving so much, you've been so hardworking, only to find out na si hacker pala na limas na yung pera mo sa bangko. Di ba? Kaya yung iba nga natatakot na mag-store ng malaking pera sa kanilang bangko or GCash kasi yan yung mga yan yung mga parang target ng mga hackers na makakuha sila. I forgot the term, parang dinuduplicate yung dinuduplicate yung bank information para makapag-access siya para make it appear na ikaw yon, di ba? At ma-override niya na hindi na kailangan na mag-send ng OTP sa iyong cellphone, di ba? Isa rin sa mga magandang practice, make sure na meron kayong 3 authentication, di ba? Maliban sa call, di ba, yung OTP. So very important yun to ensure na walang mag-access na iyong mga bank information, yung financial documents mo unless, di ba, nag-provide ka ng mga authentication like passwords, OTP, and something else. And finally, I hope with all these things that I have shared to you, ma-share natin siya sa ating mga kaibigan at kapamilya para sila rin ay maging protected sa kanilang mga data at walang magkaroon ng data breaches or compromises. So sharing is caring. All right, and all of this you can find sa ating www.privacy.gov.ph. And for more data privacy related information, you can always check the website of the National Privacy Commission. So very important po na protektahan natin yung ating privacy. That includes data because once na ma-compromise ang ating data, that may compromise whatever you have in mind, reputation, and yung ating aspect ng professionalism. So I hope na maging proactive tayo in securing and protecting our data by complying with the Data Privacy Act. Yun lang po. Maraming po salamat. To God be all the glory.
Okay, so maraming salamat, Attorney Ronald. So guys, may tanong po ba tayo kay Attorney Ronald? Sa ating mga kais-ko at kais-ka dyan na nandyan ngayon. So may tanong po ba tayo kay Attorney? Pwede po tayong gumamit ng ating Zoom chat or pwede rin naman sa ating mga nakaantabay sa ating Facebook page, pwede rin naman po na gamitin natin ang ating comment section ng ating live para po magtanong kayo. You just have to put your name or your course or year-end section para ma-acknowledge po namin kayo. So, sir, may PM po sa akin. Pag daw po ba yung picture niya ay pinost nang wala siyang approval, pwede daw ba siyang mag-charge under data privacy?
Yeah. That is, again, napakalagang aspeto po yung consent. Especially kapag ang paggamit ng iyong picture ay maaaring mag-lead to some issues like cyber libel o kaya paggamit ng iyong identity na pwede maggamit sa illegal activity. So very important na may consent. Otherwise, you can file a complaint against that person who posted your pictures without your authorization.
Okay. So kasi normally po may mga sabihin na natin marami na ngayon or rampant yung mga OLA, 'di ba? So dahil minsan yung mga may mga sabihin na natin hindi nakakabayad or may mga kliyenteng hindi nakakabayad ng utang, ang ginagawa dahil dun sa platform na yun, pinipicturean ka, di ba? Ginagamit yun, they get into a story or gumagawa na sila ng story, pinipost sa Facebook. Kaya lang, ang problema, sir, ito, minsan, dumadating sa point na yung Facebook is a dummy account. So, paano niya hahabulin yun? Saan niya ipapile?
I see. Well, assuming that it amounts to a crime, okay? Or possible crime, maaari kayong mag-ask ng assistance sa PNP or NBI, meron silang Cybercrime Division. Again, nabanggit ko kanina IP address, no? Kahit na dami account yan, matitrace yan because that person is using unidentified IP address. So in case na may mga ganyang scenario, especially if it involves crime, you just need to get yung parang browser, yung HTTPS, you screenshot that, Okay, para malaman na yan ay gamit ng account na nagpo-post or gumagamit ng iyong mga information na walang consent. At i-coordinate lang yan kay Facebook and malalaman at matitrace sino ang source ng mga dummy accounts na yan. So hindi pwedeng maitago under the guise of dummy accounts, especially if it amounts to illegal activities.
Ayun. Kasi syempre sir, ito yung mga pagdating sa data privacy, medyo ano tayo sabihin na natin ngayon, nagigising na ang Pilipinas or nagigising na ang mga tao, hindi lang ang mga estudyante, hindi lang ang
Ito, tsaka ano kasi, especially mga kabataan, mga Gen Z ba to? Kasi ako, millennial ako. Millennial tayo, Jane, no?
Yes.
So, masyado silang too public.
Alpha na sir sila, Alpha actually.
Akala nila.
Sila Gen Z, Alpha na.
Alpha, di ba? Parang, I see. So, parang masyadong too public ang mga kabataan ngayon. And nagre-react na lang sila pag may nangyari ng hindi maganda. So, one of the tips that I gave you, please don't be too public, especially if you are eyeing a good career, di ba? Nakakahinayang naman, di ba? Ang mga PUPians pa naman ang preferred na mga companies, may kita, may mga scandal or viral ka sa social media. So, as much as possible, don't be too public and don't let your information be accessible to all.
Okay, ayan sir, may tanong. Sir, how about po yung mga service providing companies na binibenta or pinu-forward yung mga information ng client to third-party collector, kahit naman wala po silang data sharing agreement to client and vendor. So, liable po ba yung mga service provider nun? Kasi madalas daw po ganyan yung nababasa sa social media at sa Reddits.
Yeah, well, again, if your consent was not secured, then that is subject sa possible complaints. Again, ang may-ari po ng data at information ay kayo, and you can only share it sa entity na nagbigay kayo ng consent. And matapos, at dapat for a declared purpose. Kapag natapos na yung purpose na yan at shinare po ng entity sa ibang company nang wala kayong consent, pwede nyo pong kasuhan both yung company na nag-share at saka pinag-sharean nyo.
Okay, so pag sinabi sir normally na subject, na data or information, it includes email, tama po ba?
Yes, all your information. At saka yung mga magugulat ka, no, sinishare siya sa mga marketing arms, no? Na magugulat ka, binibenta ka na kung ano-ano at you were wondering, paano mo nakuha yung information ko? Isa lang naman ang pinag-share ko. So pwede mo silang kasuhan, di ba?
Kaya lang sir, minsan 'di ba hindi nila din ni-disclose. Actually, 'yun yung medyo natin kasi hindi sila nagde-disclose kung kanino nila nakuha yung information. So, 'yun yung reasons. So, kayo
Yes.
at syempre itong ating mga kaisko at kaiska, syempre kailangan lalo na pictures. Yung iba ginagawa, ina-adobe, AI na lang po ngayon. Dati
Yeah,
kasi,
totoo.
nung time natin, 'di ba? Kahit pa paano nung time natin, ang hirap na hirap pa tayong mag-edit na ipapatong mo yung mukha mo sa
Yes.
katawan ng ibang tao. Pero sa ngayon kasi,
Tama.
ang bilis.
Tama.
Through AI na lang. So, data privacy talagang kailangan nating alagaan. So, kung mukha, pangalan, email, edad,
Totoo.
ano pa ba? Religion,
Yes.
civil status,
Yes.
health information, etc. Ito yung mga impormasyon na kailangan mong protektahan, hindi lang ikaw. At syempre, magiging empleyado kayo in the near future. Itong mga estudyante natin, sir, kasi is, most of them are fourth-year students. So, dahil fourth-year students sila, mag-handle sila ng mga confidential information sa
Tama.
kanilang workplace. So, anong pwede mong i-advise sa kanila para maprotektahan din naman yung mga kliyente nila?
I see. Well, again, I want you to remember the word consent, okay? Without consent, you are not allowed to share information of others, okay? In the same way, once you did not give your consent, no one can share your data or information. Kasi yung consent na yon means respect. Once you secure the consent, it doesn't mean na you can do anything you want sa kanilang data or information. Dapat very specific yung purpose why you are getting their information. At kapag na-fulfill na yung purpose na yon, dapat i-dispose at i-stop na yung paggamit ng information na yan. So let's be professional in handling data or information ng ating mga prospective clients, because what you do to the data or information would define you and would define the kind of future that you would have in the future, especially mga marketing pala to, no? Mga marketing at entrepreneurial management. So very important na ma-observe natin yung respect at strict confidentiality ng i-handle nating mga data or information ng clients.
May HR din tayo. May mga HRM, saka office administration na nandito ngayon. So,
Yes.
na tawag ang attention ko kasi meron daw mga office administration student na nandito ngayon, well as HRDF. So, ito yung mga possible na HR personnel, lalong-lalo na sila. So, sila yung mangangalaga na or
Yes.
gagawa ng proteksyon.
Totoo. At saka, well, as a PUP yan din, no? Let's set a good benchmark. Let's set a standard. Na kapag PUP yan, very compliant sa Data Privacy Act. Kasi the way you would handle the data or information of your clients or the people who would provide or consent to provide their data or information, that amounts to professionalism, and very important yung professionalism. Diyan tayo kilala bilang PUPians. We are very professional. We are very hardworking. Sana madagdag na compliant din tayo sa Data Privacy Act. Very important, hindi lang sa Pilipinas, kundi sa buong mundo. Meron tayong international standards na sinusunod when it comes to protecting our data privacy.
Ayun. So, meron tayong mga estudyante ngayon na nakaantabay kasi sir sa ating Facebook page na nag-share na rin at share na rin itong live na to nyo. So, more or less, hindi lang po sa PUP Career Center naka-live na ngayon ang ating pinag-uusapan about data privacy. So, navigating and compliance. So, guys, may tanong po ba kayo kay attorney? Huwag kayong mahiyang magtanong. Pwede kayong mag-type sa ating Zoom o kaya naman sa ating nasa Facebook page, pwede nyo gamitin ang inyong yung comment section ng live na to para natin ma-question kay sir. Ayan. Si Miss Romero, you want to interact, Miss Romero, with sir? Attorney?
Yes.
Okay po.
Yes.
Pwede ka magsalita, Miss Romero. Pwede mong i-unmute yung sarili mo.
Alright po. Good morning po everyone, especially po kay Attorney Boom. Thank you so much po for gracing us with your knowledge about the Data Privacy Act of 2012 po. And very helpful po siya sa aming mga business administration students, lalo na po within HR kasi HR student po ako. But unfortunately po, my question is not totally related po as an HR student, but as a student po, since nagkakaroon na nga po ng wide increase of the social media use, yung mga online collaboration tools po as a student, and of course, yung AI in academic settings or academic projects po. Ano po ba yung mga personal data privacy risk na pwede po naming ma-encounter na hindi naman po kami totally aware na na pwedeng ma-endanger yung data privacy po namin as students po, since may mga ibang platforms po na kinakailangan nga po ng email namin, yung mga na makakatulong po sa amin in terms of our academic endeavor po. Yun lang po. Thank you so much.
I think it boils down sa one of my tips na don't be too public, okay? Again, it's not illegal to provide your information so long as you provide your consent. Kasi lahat ng mga government agency or even mga private companies, they are mandated to comply with the Data Privacy Act. So, ibig sabihin, if they want to hire you, they're gonna get your personal information, but you as the owner of the data or information, you should be informed that this is only for employment purpose. If the company or agency would use it for something else, so that is a data breach or compromise. At pwede kang mag-lodge ng complaint, especially if gagamitin siya for other purpose at ma-endanger din yung iyong good reputation. Because what is at stake here is our good reputation. We don't want to compromise our reputation because of the breaches committed by some individuals or entity na nag-collect at gumamit ng iyong data or information. So from the pictures, from the personal information, kapag ginamit siya for something else, especially it amounts to illegal or criminal activities, so that's the time that you need to speak up and even file a complaint before the National Privacy Commission.
This is well noted po, attorney. Thank you so much po.
You're welcome, Natalia. Any other
Okay.
questions po?
Yun kasi sir, di ba normally may mga kailangan talagang mag-enter ka muna ng email, tapos sa phone mo, you just have to allow
Yes.
access yung contact information, allow access yung camera, etc. For some application. But
Tama.
siyempre, di ba, minsan kailangan mo siguro siyang i-swipe off after mong makapag-member, tama ba?
Tama.
Or habang ginagamit mo lang yung application na yon, kailangan mong i-secure yung sarili mo.
Tama.
Not just physically, but syempre, ingat-ingat lang din. Pwede nyo namang tingnan i-off.
Tama.
Okay. So, may tanong pa guys?
At saka para even sa cellphone, Jane, no, parang pwede bang allow while using app. You don't have to allow full access. Diba?
Oh, may ganun guys. So, yun lang naman ang pwede natin gawin. Allow while using the application. So, para pag naka-sleep mode siya or hindi mo siya ginagamit, hindi siya mag-a-access kung nasan ka, hindi siya mag-a-access ng camera mo, ng mga details or ng contact information mo or anything
Tama.
else new. Okay, so
At saka
may
dapat
tanong
we
pa
should also
tayo
know
guys.
yes, tsaka we should also know the trustworthy sites, di ba? Make sure na the browsers are credible and verified, di ba? Sa mga shopping apps, make sure na talagang it's really the legitimate website. Otherwise kasi, maaring phishing website lang yan na mag-lead sa hacking and compromises. So be very careful sa mga ino-open natin mga sites.
Okay, so maraming salamat. So guys, may tanong tayo kay Attorney Ronald. Sa ating mga estudyante dyan, lalo na yung mga fourth year na gagraduate na this September. Actually, our semester will end up at June last week. So, syempre, kayo na yung mga nagpe-prepare na magtrabaho. So, at least, di ba, mapangalagaan yung hindi lang yung information nyo, pati information din ng mga kliyente or possible na maging client niya. So, guys, sige nga. Tingnan natin, mukhang wala na sir tanong at mukhang tahimik sila. Sige nga, patype muna ang number 1 kung nandyan ang ating mga estudyante at ang ating mga kaisko at kaiska ngayon. Patype nga ang 1. Kung gising pa sila. Ayan, sir, gising sila. Nakikinig lang sila ng
Yun.
gusto.
If I may add,
O,
Jane, no?
diba?
Siguro, no? Ayun lang magtanong, pero sige, I will just add, since you are graduating na, so malamang may mga nag-a-apply, may mga prospect tayong mga company. Take note, isa sa mga tinitingnan ng company ngayon, yung inyong
Social media.
social media. So make sure na inyong social media ay malinis, di ba? Kung may mga history kayo ng pakikipagbardagulan, di ba? Pagmumura, whatsoever, whether intention or not, you still have the chance to remove them para hindi siya maging part ng inyong digital profile. Okay? So very important na malinis, personal at private. Kasi one of the turn off ng mga HR, ng mga companies, yung mga social media accounts na too public at may mga hindi magandang reputation. So you still have the chance to do that kung meron man. Okay, na into those kind of things, especially last election, no? Last 22 election, napaka-proactive ng mga kabataan. So if you were impulsive that time, you still have the chance to remove anything that might affect your digital profile para hindi na siya matrace ng mga HRs. Kasi ang HR ngayon, Jane, ang ginagamit na pag-CCI, social media.
Yeah, Facebook or kaya TikTok.
Yes.
Diba? Okay. So, actually, sir, hindi lang yun. Bukod sa, baka naman masyado silang, mag-off sila, mag-lock ng profile, di ba? So, pwede naman kayong mag-post, guys. Siguro not all lang, friends only lang. Okay po? Kasi baka naman sobra kayong malinis. Baka naman dahil Gen Z kayo or Alpha kayo, ay maghinala naman yung HR na bakit naman sobrang linis nito. So, syempre, dun lang tayo sa bawasan natin yung something na alam nating matuturn off yung isang tao or yung ibang
Yes.
tao sa atin.
Yes.
Okay.
Best
So,
foot forward tayo even sa ating social media account.
yeah. Sabi nga nila, think before you speak and at the same time, think before you post. 'Di ba?
Tama.
Dati kasi is think before you speak, ngayon is think before you post. Kasi
Tama.
kung ano nang nasa isip ng mga kabataan ngayon, yun na yung pinupost nila. Minsan hindi pa nila nasasabi nakapost na yun. 'Di ba guys? Tama ba? Sige nga, pa-heart nga. Patingnan kung nandyan pa sila lahat. Ayan. Okay. So, Attorney Boom, nag-ano ka pa rin ba? Tawag dito? Nasa radio station ka pa rin ba? Baka gusto mong i-share sa kanila. Siyempre, baka gusto nila makinig or makijoin sa'yo sometimes.
I see medyo I already stopped sa radio although visible ako sa mga programs. You can check out yung guesting ko sa Billionaire News Channel, yung program na abogado. So I was invited to discuss about party list reform and I'm also one of the resident guests nung program na sa Barangay Tayo. So mostly ang guestings ko ay patungkol sa election. So we hope na makapag-establish tayo ng good digital profile pagdating sa election law.
Okay, so maraming salamat, Attorney Boom. Meron pa ba tayong mga tanong sa ating mga estudyante dyan? Or mukhang nahihiya na sila? By the way, sir, nakikinig lahat sila actually. Siguro medyo nahihiya lang yung ibang mag-react? Or siguro
Walang
naman...
mahihaing PUPians. Oo, diba? Well, I want you to be proud as a PUPian. Just to share to you, very quick lang, Jane, no? When I started after graduation, working as a call center agent, I was a working student when I was taking up law. So, may mga kakilala ako na graduate ng PUP pero they are not that proud. Eh ako, very proud ako sa PUP. Yung iba, hinihina yung isang PUP. Di ba? Ganun eh. Pero ako, PUP talaga. Alam niyo kung bakit ako proud? Kasi mga kasabayan ko, may mga taga-Ateneo, may mga taga-Lasal, may taga-UST, CEU. Pero sa call center kasi iba-iba sweldo. And mind you, ako from PUP, far higher ang aking sweldo sa kanila kasi depende kasi sa credential ang pay sa ibang mga BPO. And I'm just so proud, di ba? Sabi ko nga, kung ang as scholar pa ako sa PUP, kung ang pagtatrabaho after graduation ay parang yung pag-aaral sa kolehiyo ay isang parang investment na parang business, bawing-bawi na ako sa puhunan ko. Sobra-sobra pa yung tubo ko. And that made me proud as a PUPian, especially now na number one preferred ng mga employer ay ang mga PUPian because of their hard work, because of their commitment, and because of their professionalism. So let's maintain that reputation and be even prouder na kayo po ay magiging tatak PUP. Yon.
Ayun. So maraming salamat, sir. At least, 'di ba? Syempre yung iba, honestly speaking, guys, ang tatandaan nyo lagi, graduate na po kami, hindi po naman na-measure ang pagkatao ng isang tao kung saang eskwelahan siya nanggaling. Ang lalagi nyong tatandaan, syempre, kayo ang gumagawa ng sarili nyong kapalaran at kayo rin ang gumagawa ng sarili nyong reputasyon. So, this importante, pangalagaan yung individual na reputasyon nyo or individual upbringing nyo para at least dala-dala nyo yon kung saan man kayo magtrabaho. Okay, so maraming salamat, Attorney Boom. At may tanong pa ba ang ating mga estudyante? Pa-type naman ang number 3. Kung wala na, para at least, di ba, pasensya na, Attorney, kung medyo na-store ka ng aming mga estudyante, 'di ba? So, maraming salamat sa inyong pagpapaunlak na binigyan nyo ng oras ang ating mga kaisko at kaiska, 'di ba? At least kahit papano meron silang konting background tungkol sa data privacy. Kasi syempre po, yung iba mag-OJT at one of the workplace orientation sabihin na nating na hinahanap is data privacy. So, syempre, ito yung mga kailangan na meron or alam ng ating mga estudyante ngayon. So wala na bang tanong, guys? So mukhang wala na, sir. Mukhang okay na sila lahat. So in behalf of the Alumni Relation and Career Development Office, maraming salamat, Attorney Ronald Santiago, Attorney Boone. So maraming salamat po at I hope na syempre hindi lang ngayon College of Business. Syempre susunod nito baka ibang college naman, sir. 'Di ba? Para at least I guess last month yata from the College of Political Science and Administration, nandun ka. So, sila naman ang nag-imbita sa iyo, ang ating kolehiyo naman. So, maraming salamat po. At again, sir, your certificate po, dadalhin na lang namin or pagpunta mo na lang dito sa PUP. Message mo lang ako.
Of course.
Okay, so maraming salamat.
Welcome PUP, welcome Jane.
Okay, hindi ka na namin ni-istorbahin. So maraming salamat mga kaisko at kaiska. Again, I'm Professor Jane S. Pulma of the Alumni Relation and Career Development Office, signing off at I hope na itong mga natutunan nyo about data privacy ay makatulong sa inyo hindi lang ngayon habang nag-aaral kayo or sa mga personal na perspectives nyo. Pero syempre, dadalhin nyo ito on your professional goals and objectives. So, naway isa puso natin at isabuhay natin ang pangangalaga sa mga confidential information, hindi lang natin, kung hindi ng ating kapwa-tao. Okay, so again, maraming salamat sa inyong lahat at ito po na po ang ating PUP hymn. Again, maraming salamat sa inyong lahat. So guys, the link of evaluation is currently posted na po sa ating Zoom chat, ha?